Just like the Muslims, just like the Christians should have a state, so too should the Jews.
Palestinians have the right, Palestinians have the right. Not the Jews.
To return.
Yeah.
So if you look at it slightly, I'm answering in a lawyer sort of way, but I'm going to answer your question.
I do believe that the conditions that they live in is fair.
So if you actually go to Ramallah, has anyone been to Ramallah here? So if you go to Ramallah, Google it 'cause you won't believe me, but you'll see Mercedes-Benz driving around. You'll see, there's one wall, right, it's 5 stories.
Maybe Ramallah is like that, but I'm saying generally the environments that the Palestinians are living to, yeah, I'm saying generally the quality of living that the Palestinians are living in, yeah. Are you going to tell me that basically they're living in a beautiful place?
So let me give you a real story from me and my wife. My wife and I were traveling on a bulletproof bus from Israel, Jerusalem, to a place called Hebron, which I was just talking about.
Why was it bulletproof then?
Yeah, because
you had to mention that. At least it was a missile. It was a missile proof, wasn't it?
Let me finish.
I'd rather live in Israel than Palestine.
Let me finish. When we're driving, I'm going to give you a real story, which hopefully articulates my point. When I'm driving through, I'm looking at all these big expensive villas, and I keep saying to my wife, I can't just be patient. It's got so. I said, like, the West is so deluded. If they look at these huge villas, like, they wouldn't think the Palestinians were impoverished. And then 30 seconds later, I looked at her and I said, actually, if the Palestinian activist was taking the same route, instead of noticing the villa, would they notice the little shack? And the truth is, in the West Bank, not Gaza, in the West Bank, you have incredible affluence and you have poverty. If you look at a Palestinian refugee camp in the West Bank, it looks like any other city, compared to like refugee camps in, say, Syria or Turkey. However, Gaza's different. Gaza, there is actual real poverty and hardship. But the West
So you
Bank,
believe the way that the Palestinians have been treated in Gaza as well?
do I believe, so I'll give you an example. So truthfully, I believe that the reason the Palestinians have it so bad in Gaza is because of two factors: Hamas, and then the second factor, Egypt.
Hamas is chosen.
Egypt.
So it's not the Jews' fault. So it's Jews. So it's just the Muslim. The reason why the
Who said Muslim? Who said Muslim? You said Muslim.
The Palestinians. What can I say to you?
That's not their country.
I'm just asking you, the situation that the Gaza people are, because the rules that they live by are coming from Israel, yes?
Sorry, say that again.
The rules that the people in Gaza live by, yeah? The policies, the control of the water, the electricity and so forth, it's Israel that's controlling that.
Can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
And then I'll answer it in my words. So Gaza has two borders, one with Egypt and one with Israel. Israel and Gaza have effectively been at war for 70 years, yeah? Ask yourself a question, yeah? In the most common surname in Gaza is Al-Masri, the Egyptian. Many Gazans actually come from Egypt. Yasser Arafat was an Egyptian, he was born in Cairo. Now, if you're a Muslim, if you're Egypt, yeah? And you've got Gaza, let me finish and I'll respond. Who would you expect to help Israel, Gaza more? Israel, who they've been at war with, or Egypt, who's their own family? Egypt.
I'm asking a question, yeah? I'm not asking you, look, we know Muslims could do bad things, I'm not asking you. I'm saying to you, according to you, the way that Israel is treating, yes, the Palestinians...
I thought I answered that. What I said was, why would Israel, a country who's been at war with Gaza, be expected to support Gaza more? Could you imagine when the British were at war with the Nazis, if the British supported... So it goes beyond what Israel does.
Brother, please. So basically you're saying it's okay for them to treat them bad, yes?
No, that's not one.
No, you're saying naturally they should treat them bad because they were at war with them.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Ain't it a democracy?
Listen to what I'm saying instead of putting words in my mouth.
But that's what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. So I'll say it again.
You're saying that Egypt is not about. Forget Egypt.
No.
Look, I agree there's a lot of culture. There's a lot of culture.
What did I say? What did I say?
I'm not trying to paint a picture that all Muslims are good.
You keep talking about Muslims. I'm not talking about Muslims.
Look, you mentioned Egypt, yes?
Yeah.
Are they Muslims?
There's Muslims, there's Coptic Christians.
Oh, who's ruling Egypt? Who's in control in Egypt? Muslims, yes?
Would you say this? Would you say?
So now you're playing Joseph. Look, you're just trying to. Look, you're smiling. You're playing and trying to play games. Why don't you just be honest and say the Jews, yeah, or the Israelis, yeah, are oppressing the Palestinians in Gaza?
Because I actually see it differently to you.
So they're not oppressing. So they give them a beautiful life, yeah?
So
YouTube. So the Israelis, white phosphorus. You think white?
What about all the kids we see dying on the internet?
Guys, let's not shout.
You have to allow me to answer though.
You're an intelligent guy, and you have a heart. I'm sure.
If we're doing this, you have to let me answer.
Of course, but the whole thing is I'm not asking you. Look, what I'm saying, Muslims have a lot of cultural and nationalism amongst themselves. Yeah, they don't look after it. A lot of them. as countries that say they will look after their own interests, yes? I'm asking you as a Bible, Torah following Jew, yes? That the government of Israel, are they treating the Palestinians with justice? And this ain't my main argument. I want to get into a religious argument with you.
I'm not even being religious.
I don't even. This is the thing. Everyone wants to argue. I don't want to argue.
I'm not arguing.
Yes, I want to argue.
You said I want to get in a religious argument with you.
No, I didn't say argue. I didn't say argue.
Basically, when you just ask your
I never said I want to get into a religious argument.
Okay, I misunderstood that.
I would never say to someone I said
Okay, I misheard. I misheard. I meant for the comment. If you didn't say that, I misheard, and I'm sorry. Okay, can I respond?
I'm not Hamas, yeah? No, what
I'll be high fiving then.
I'll give you a high five back. No, I never said to you I want to get into a religious argument with you.
Okay, I misheard. That's what I thought you said. I apologise.
Yeah, I said this ain't my, because like there's politics in my thing, and I don't believe everything you're saying about it. I know you've rehearsed this for many times and talk about Egypt and this that, and the other, and I liked how you sided to Egypt when I was obviously about Israel. I'm just trying to find out what your views are.
But you didn't hear my answer.
No, you said to me, when you was explaining to me, you said Gaza has 2 borders, and you said one with Egypt and one thing. I never asked you about Egypt. I know that Muslim brothers are not treating each other like Muslim brothers.
You never let me finish my answer, that's why you haven't heard it.
No, but what I say, when you finished speaking...
I didn't finish.
No, you were speaking. You said Egypt, who do you expect to help? You asked me a question.
Okay.
You did ask me a question. You said, who would you expect to help?
I jumped in and I started talking.
Okay, can I finish my point and then we can...
Please don't jump in. My point was this, you said to me about Egypt, and I'm not advising people to talk about this politics and talking. It's just that I came to a discussion and this gentleman there was talking to you about Israel-Palestine. But I think the whole world could see, yeah, that the way that Israel is treating the Palestinians, especially in Gaza, yeah, and so forth, yeah, based on our limited knowledge and so forth, is that the Palestinians are living in a very bad state, yeah, and that the Israelis, yeah, are treating them really bad. Now I'm asking you, someone I believe to be following the Torah, the Old Testament, yeah, and to be a God-surely Jew, he has intelligence or has a heart, yeah, that I'm asking you, do you believe the way the Jews are treating the people in Gaza fair?
So now, will you be quiet and let me answer? Because I haven't been able to answer. I know it's maybe because it's been interrupted. Perfect.
I'm sorry, I shut up.
Perfect. Okay, so to recap, because there's new people here, there's no camera there. As I said before, you asked me about the treatment of the Gaza. Do I have sympathy? Are they oppressed? And I said that Gaza has 2 borders, one with Egypt, one with Israel. I said that Israel and Gaza have been at war for 69 years or longer. Yeah, so these are 2 people at war. So I said I would expect the Egyptians to offer more assistance to the Gazans than the Israelis because they're brothers. One of the most common surnames in Gaza is Al-Masri, the Egyptian. As you said, I've rehearsed this. So now what I was getting to is you asked me about oppression. You said Israel, is it right that they don't give them electricity and water? Israel does give them electricity. It does give them water. What I was saying was I would expect Egypt to be the people that offer that assistance to the Gazans. Almost every Hamas militant, certainly the leadership, has had family that has been treated in Israeli hospitals. Hundreds and hundreds of Palestinians are treated in Israeli or Gaza Palestinians are treated in Israeli hospitals every year. Yet for 69 years, Gaza and Israel have been at war with each other.
Okay, I'm asking a question. So they'll say the electricity...
I'm saying Israel does more than any other nation.
I'm not asking you to do any more because everyone else could be doing bad. I'm asking you that the humanitarian situation that the people in Gaza live in, is it fair, is it just?
I'm saying, I think Israel does more than any other nation.
I never asked you to do this. This is called spin.
I'm saying it is true.
Do you know what this is called? Do you know what it's called? Spin.
I just said it's good.
I'm not asking you to spin in
How's
Egypt.
that spin?
Okay, hold on, brother, please. Hold on. So you're saying the amount of food they get, yeah? The amount of electricity they have, the amount of water the water that the Palestinians drink, is it the same quality as the people in Israel? It's the same, yes?
It's the same water. If it's coming from
the
Israel, it's the same
Palestinians,
water.
I'm not Palestinian, yeah? Is there any Palestinians here? No, is there any Palestinians?
You can't drink
Hold on.
Did you not hear the story about the 12-year-old Palestinian that got arrested for a bottle of water at work?
I'm not arguing with you. They stopped.
Yeah, 8 years old. 8 years old. Yes. You should bring this one up, brother. That's bad.
What we're going to do is
bad things.
What I'm going to do, because I don't debate.
For water. What do you want with water?
I don't debate politics, yeah? So the whole thing.
But you don't hear it on the news.
Please, bro. Please, brothers, yeah? I don't debate politics, yeah? But the whole point is that I've spoken to many politicians and they tell me that the water that they have to drink from, yeah, is not drinkable. The electricity that they have is a very limited compared to Israel, yeah? Like, I don't know, is Israel one of the main tourist attractions in the world? It's not.
No,
Israel.
Egypt I think has way more tourists.
Where is Israel on the tourist list?
It's tiny. It has
No, it's top 5. Lots of people come there to pilgrimage.
I've seen adverts of Israel and it looks beautiful. Am I wrong?
Let's go on the next.
He knows. I'm sure he is.
Israel is a beautiful country.
It
We know it.
I went there on a pilgrimage.
If that's true, Palestine. It's a nice country, Israel.
So you're saying the conditions in Gaza, because we're going to put film at the end of this of Gaza, yeah? Because what I'm trying to say to you, are you saying that Gaza, living in Gaza, yeah, is the same as living in Israel, yes? The same conditions?
No, I never said that.
But you said it's fair and just.
You keep building strawmans and
Okay,
putting
so
words
it's
in my
not,
mouth.
hold on. So they're not comparable, no?
Israel is a thriving first world economy.
Gaza's not thriving?
Thriving? No, it's not a thriving economy.
Okay, so the Jews control the resources in Gaza, yeah?
No. So again.
You have it, the Egyptians.
So I'm saying, listen to my words, because you keep building straw men and putting words into my mouth. I'm
Go
saying
ahead.
in the West Bank,
Yeah.
there's a very high standard of living.
Okay.
Way higher than in Yemen. You have lots of
Way higher than
millionaires.
Israel?
No, Israel.
Okay, so
no.
that's what I'm trying to say. Way higher than Yemen. A lot of places are way higher than Yemen.
But
In fact,
listen.
Yemen's getting bombed just not long ago.
Listen.
Hold on. No. Joseph, I may not know the situation, yeah, but as
Israel is 70 years old.
Listen, okay.
We've built an incredible state.
yeah,
which
you have
is
a lot of help from England as well.
We've had very good
America,
help.
3 billion a month.
What
3 billion a month. I just like to add a year. Why does America give Israel 3 billion a year?
Brothers,
When
The
America
same
has
reason it gives twice as much to the Muslims.
Does America not have property in its own country? Does it not have welfare? No healthcare. They don't even have a healthcare.
Brothers, we don't need to
But they
shout.
give 3 billion, sorry. They give 3
we
billion.
don't need to prove up. Bro, do you know what, bro?
They don't even have healthcare, but they give Israel 3 billion. It don't make sense, bro.
The point is this, I think we all know, even from my he's from
biased, man.
Jerusalem or wherever, yeah?
No, I'm from Newcastle. For the
You're
record.
from-
I was going to say, he's got a clear Newcastle accent.
And he's from Newcastle, yeah?
World is
Okay,
biased.
so have you been to Jerusalem?
Many times. I got married there.
Okay, many times, yeah? Okay, why did you? Okay, so you've been there many times. I'm not from Gaza. I'm not a Palestinian, but I know many of them. And when they tell me back home, it's different to what you're saying. Also, I've watched non-Muslim documentaries on Jerusalem and Gaza, yeah, and I've seen the two different living conditions. Now the world is watching. You're going to be on YouTube. I'm saying to you, the conditions and no, not the lifestyle, but there's one border with Israel and Gaza. Yes, I'm saying that the rulings that they pass down on Gaza, yeah, is it fair?
What
The
ruling?
Israel.
What ruling?
They control because they control the electricity. Yes.
No.
The Jews in Israel. they don't-
Israel
Hold on.
sells and gives electricity to the Gaza from Israel.
Okay. Do they give them adequate amounts?
They give them more than the Egyptians.
They get what the scums deserve. Yes.
No, that's not what you
I'm
said.
saying, could you? Excuse me. Hold on.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
I don't believe you're telling the truth.
you-
Excuse me. Are you?
Can you let me answer? You ask me a question and you don't let me answer. It's really
Yeah, at least
frustrating.
let him answer. At least.
Could you imagine the British giving electricity and humanitarian support, healthcare, electricity, water to the Nazis during World War II? Could you imagine that?
America
Palestinians?
did. America
Excuse me.
did. So why not?
I'm not saying the Nazis.
Excuse
I'm
me.
saying
And
the two
the
people.
majority of the
You know that America funded both sides of the war.
Stop shouting. Are the majority of Gaza? Excuse me. Are the majority of people in Gaza like the Nazis?
Sorry?
No. The majority of people in Gaza, yeah?
100%.
They're not
No,
like the
no,
Gazans.
100%.
Okay, so the whole thing is that, but their policies affect all of
I'm
all
saying
of
that
them.
two people.
Hold on. I believe that you're lying. Don't be offended. No, hold on, brother. I believe you're lying. I believe in the amount of electricity, the quality of water, and the heating that Israel gives to them. Yes, I'm saying it's unjust. But what I will do is I will get my facts from somebody.
We're doing this again.
I will come back and
No,
talk.
let's do it.
But I
Even
tell
away
you,
from Speaker's Corner. Let's do
listen.
this one-on-one.
I know that people that go to Israel, yeah, for holiday, yeah. I don't know much people go to Gaza for holiday. Do you know why?
Because you don't get it.
Why? Why is that? Why is that?
Because it's under lockdown from Egypt.
Oh, not the lockdown from Israel. And not the Israelis, no?
So I'm
It's
also,
all-
I'm
is it-
also from
is
the
it-
Israeli border, but Egypt isn't
Exactly,
at war.
also.
But Egypt isn't at
Because
war with
Israel,
Gaza.
because Gaza is on lockdown from the
Because
Egyptians.
the two countries are at war. Look, can I show you something?
No.
I've listened to
Can
all
I
your
go to my
questions.
main point?
I've asked you
No,
all-
we agreed to disagree. We're going to come back and debate this, yeah? We're going to come back and debate. But I wanted to
Okay.
ask you, my real question for you was this, is that You said that you believe in God, you believe in the Old Testament, yeah, which you call the Torah, yes? Okay. Any natural person that you meet that believes in God.
Can we do, before we do this, can I at least ask you a question?
I don't want to see your photo. I don't trust.
Okay, then I don't want to answer your question.
Huh?
Then I don't
You're going to show me a photo?
Let me give this point.
Okay, you're going to show me the photo.
So I want to show you pictures from the West Bank.
Of Gaza, yeah?
Gaza around the West Bank.
Okay, yeah? It's got helicopters, Lamborghinis, and...
Okay, fine. If you laugh at facts. So this is the biggest mansion in the West Bank. Okay.
Let me show you London. Let me show you Buckingham Palace. And let me show you Bristol.
5-star hotel in Gaza.
What is that, in Gaza?
Gaza, that's in Gaza.
How do you clarify that though?
Okay, let me show you London.
But how do you clarify that's true or
Okay,
not?
then show me London, then show me Buckingham Palace, then show me Peckham Castle.
Bank of Palestine in Ramallah.
Okay, so you're saying
That's the richest
yeah?
billionaire.
Okay.
Al-Masri.
Okay, that proves what? That proves what?
That's a car mall in the West Bank.
Yeah?
Controlled by Israel.
And that proves what?
Israeli.
It proves that what you've been told isn't 100% hack.
Okay, so if I show you one person, if I show a foreigner, yeah, if I show on Facebook, yeah, London, and I show Buckingham Palace, the London Eye, yeah, and Oxford Street, yeah.
People assume that London is a rich nation.
Excuse me. Okay, but okay, so you showed me. Excuse me. So you showed me certain beautiful areas. That doesn't mean that they're not oppressed in other places, does it?
No. So listen to what I'm saying. You said that there's horrible oppression. I'm saying comparative to other states near there, the Palestinians in the West Bank have a pretty average life.
Okay.
In Gaza,
The Palestinians have a pretty average life, yeah? But people go on tourism to Jerusalem, but they don't go tourism to Gaza. I wonder why.
actually, no, they go to the West Bank.
No, they don't. People
They do go to the West Bank.
Okay.
Bethlehem is one of the
I don't
most
believe
visited. You don't believe that tourists go to
No,
Bethlehem?
not Bethlehem is different. The reason why people...
But it's in the West Bank.
Excuse me, he's trying to play games. They're going there for the religious sites, in despite of the danger. That's why they go there. But when people go to tourism, in general, they're not going to go to Gaza. But they may go to Israel. You know why? Because it's worlds of difference.
Let me ask you a
Anyway,
question.
no one knows this is not true. But the point I was trying to get to you now...
Can I ask one more question?
It's okay, you can just shoot the imam. Why do people let you...
I'll ask you a question about the mosque.
Can I ask you about my question before this? I had a question before this. Remember I went to the question before?
Yeah.
Okay, the point was this. You believe in God, I believe in God. Many different religions, we all believe we're right. You can't...
I'm not saying anyone else is wrong.
But you believe Judaism is right.
I believe Judaism is right for me.
Do you believe Islam is true?
Everyone believes in their own religion. Everyone believes in their own religion.
I know, I keep quiet. Am I not allowed to shake my head? Am I not allowed to... Okay, facial...
Do you like Jews?
Okay, facial... Excuse me. Facial expressions, straight. Go ahead.
Okay, so in Judaism, we believe that we were given a deen, a code of laws that we as a one nation are supposed to follow. Anyone that wants to follow that deen is welcome to join us. They're welcome to join us and follow the Sharia of Musa. Now what I would say to your question is, for Jews, we don't give much thought to other people's religions because we have our own that we follow. Now I'm not going to come here and tell you that your religion is wrong, your religion is wrong, and your religion is wrong, because it doesn't benefit me. I believe your religion is wrong for me, and the only reason I'll give you why I believe your religion is wrong for me is because in the Torah it says that anything from the sea is lawful for me unless it has fins and scales. In the Quran, it says that anything from the sea is lawful unto you. So you can't be practicing both at the same time. I'm not going to come along and say that your religion's wrong and people shouldn't be Muslim or Christians shouldn't follow. There may be things in Christian theology I don't agree with, but I'm certainly not going to tell them that like what you practice is shirk or it's not my place. So if you want to ask me questions without shaking your head at me, brother. Because then you're building straw man and already judging me negatively.
The people that worship the golden calf, did they go to hell?
I don't know.
You're Jew.
I know, but it doesn't say anything. So in the Old Testament, it says nothing about hell.
What happened to people that worship
in the Old Testament? Listen to what I'm saying. Rather than build, you've got your little script.
Calm down.
Sorry, I'm getting a little animated.
Yeah, you are getting very good. Calm down.
Sorry, you triggered.
Shalom.
I need to say space.
Shalom.
So. The Quran is focused very much on Jannah, on the world to come, on doing good deeds in this world, so you get rewarded in the next. That's the ikka, the essence of the Quran. The Torah, the Torah, 100%. La ilaha illallah. That's what it's all about, and we're the same. In the Torah, it doesn't mention Jannah, nowhere. It doesn't mention hell anywhere. There's one reference which people metaphorically or indirectly believe relates to hell, but it doesn't mention it anywhere. So you're coming at me with questions about Judaism with an Islamic mindset, and that's fine.
Do you know why? The people that worship the golden calf, what happened to them according to the Torah?
I've got a question.
The Old
as well.
Testament.
So according to the Old Testament, they were punished in this world.
Yeah, but what happened to them?
I've got a big
They were
question.
killed, yeah? Okay, they were killed. So if you worship, the reason why is because they worship the golden calf, yeah?
According to the Torah. Yeah.
And the reason why Moses was killed was because he was claiming that he was God, yes? And a person...
Where does it say in the Torah?
Okay, he was...
Moses wasn't killed.
Okay. But,
Jesus, you mean.
okay, but the point is that the people that...
Sorry, what were you saying then?
Hold on, I'm explaining.
Okay.
In the people were killed for God in the worst golden calf, why?
Because they were chasing false idols. They mistakenly.
Okay, so if you follow, so in your religion it's wrong to worship the creation, God's creation, yes? Okay, and if you worship God's creation according to Jewish law, you're killed, yes? Well, at the time of Moses.
So in the biblical time, we have what we followed there. We then had something called the Talmud, or the Bet Din HaGadol, the Bet Din. In the Torah, in the Old Testament, it commands the Jews to establish something called the Supreme Court. That court is to set rules that protect the monotheism of the Jews and create one ummah, one society for all the Jewish people. And so within Judaism we don't have divisions, or we do have this mechanism, but when we had this mechanism, all Jews held the same. So in the Talmud, in the Torah, they define what the laws are and how they're interpreted. And so the law that Jews follow today is that if you have a religious court, then it's not even today, this is the Talmudic time, they had a law which was if one court puts to death, if the court puts more than one person to death in 70 years, they're considered bloody. Because what the authors of the Talmud and the rabbis of the Great Court enacted were numerous laws that made it virtually impossible. Just like in Islam, it's very difficult to carry out the death sentence. Long before the birth of Islam, Jews has made many gezerot, many decrees, which made it very, very, very difficult to enact the death sentence. So if you were to say to me, if someone worships a false idol, are they to be put to death? Under Jewish law, no.
Okay, so nowadays you don't kill people, but it's still a major sin to worship.
No, it's a major sin, yeah. It's a better way of saying it.
It's a major sin, yeah? So I want to ask you, yeah? So basically, as a human being, have you always been a Jew? Practicing Jew?
Yeah. Not a practice, I wasn't religious when I was younger.
Okay. So as a human being, there was a time when you were practicing, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. But you still had a sense of what God is and what God isn't, yes?
No, not that. I was hardcore communist atheist.
You was an atheist?
Like militant.
Okay, before you became Jew again, yes? Or you converted to Judaism, yeah? Basically, you had within you had a belief about God, yes?
But when I started taking on the religion.
Before you started taking on religion?
So before, as I said, I was raised with religion is the opiate of the masses.
Yeah, but before you joined the thing, you must have had something inside you that pulled you towards religion or Judaism.
I know, so the reason I started taking on my ancestral tradition was because I started reading the great works of Jewish philosophers like Maimonides, the Rambam. It wasn't that I woke up and I this is a Christian idea, like suddenly I saw the light and I...
No, what I'm trying to say to you, look, you were an atheist, you didn't believe in God.
Yeah.
You started reading philosophy.
Yeah.
At some stage you had awareness of God, because if you didn't believe in God,
that's what I'm telling you, it's not a feeling, it's a rational,
okay,
it's a logical.
But from the rational it goes inside, yes? If I'm an atheist and I don't believe in God at all, yes, I logically don't believe in God, yes? Then at the end of the day, when I read something, if I've got no feeling there, I'm not going to act on it, am I?
Yeah.
So you must have had a feeling that God exists, yeah?
But no, you're getting it the wrong way around. It's not that I had a feeling and I became religious, it's I educated myself and became religious. It's not an emotional thing, it's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not a feeling, it's a logical argument.
You read, and from that reading you got a feeling that God exists.
Maybe we're just semantics, maybe okay, moving on to the next point.
So
okay.
you went from being an atheist to being a believing Jew, yes? Okay, that God that you believe in, yeah, this is my claim, you may disagree with it. That, as a human being, that God you believed in had certain attributes, yes? It knew everything good and bad you do, yes or no?
So, okay, I want to be really careful here, because Jewish blasphemy laws are really, really strict and I don't want to get myself in any trouble.
Please don't kill him.
In Judaism...
No, brother, he's talking about his community, he knows what he's talking about.
And also on a spiritual, religious level, blasphemy is the worst thing that you can do. Yeah. And so what we have, in Judaism, we can say what God isn't. because we can use logical arguments to deduce that. What we don't do is say what God is. So we can say that God isn't many, God isn't two, because there's a logical argument which you can put for that. So
Hold on, speak English. Hold on, please. Just speak Jewish. Brother, don't say what, brother. Hey,
No violence.
Go away. No, don't go away. You speak Hebrew. You speak Hebrew. وعايش تغمي Hebrew لو فجأة. He's not Jewish, he's not Hebrew, he's a liar. He's not Zionist. He's not Jewish, he's not Zionist, nothing. No, he's not. Trust me not. Okay, tell him to talk to me in Hebrew. Don't call me shush, you don't shush me. I'm talking Hebrew. Don't touch my face. I'm talking to him. هل أنت تقصد أنك اليهودي وتتكلم اللغة العبرية وغامش تغن كغالة زغن إبرو كلمني اللغة العبرية Talk to me in Hebrew كذاب منافق he's not it's nothing he's not Jewish nothing liar خليه يتكلم اللغة العبرية معايا Why do you go? Don't touch me next time. Don't tell me what I'm going to do. Go. Go where? Don't do like stamp in my face.
Okay, Papa, let them finish.
Yeah, let them finish.
no need for violence.
والله لا يهودي ولا شيء ولا يتكلم اللغة العربية حتى الغربية ولا شيء اللايرز. هو مع الفرقة دول كلهم عصابات واحدة. هذا مافيا. حتى الخدمة عليكم السلام. ايه كلهم مافيا. زبالين.
As
ما يهودي أصلا. ولا يهودي ولا شيء. ولا يهودي ولا شيء. خلي اوكي امام العالم كله خلي يكلم اللغه العبريه انا اكلمها انا درست اللغه العبريه وانا مسلم كذابين منافقين
عيوني Because someone goes to
not they come for special things for themselves.
As a person who's looking for the spiritual Jew, but they have something inside them. I'm sure you know Fitra, yeah? We believe that tells them what God is. God knows them. He sees every case. There's certain saints in the Bible that I would like to know, because you seem like an intelligent human being. Yeah,
I might not know the answers.
you might not know the answer, yeah? But for example, I'm sure you're aware, and many Jews will teach you in the Old Testament, it's about that Jacob had the reason that Jacob was Israel because he wrestled with God, and that he overpowered him, and that God said, let me go. Because Jacob let go of God, he named him Israel. Now, I find it hard to understand.
Okay, so that's not what you believe. So go this way. So when Rambam describes what's up there, he's saying it's a metaphorical prophecy struggle that we have with belief. But it's not that man physically wrestles with God, that goes against Judaism. God can't manifest in a physical form.
But he says he wrestled with
It says with a man, wrestled with a man. It doesn't say God anywhere.
Okay, but the man is not God.
So again, we don't believe that God can be a man.
But the verse
No
says,
Jew.
but
The verse says a man.
the verse says he wrestled with man and one, and he wrestled with God and one.
So what again? He's talking about monotheism. It's poetic language to say that man wrestles with Iman. That's beautiful. Man wrestles with Iman. We wrestle with faith, and that's all it's saying. It's saying he became a monotheist.
But you know what doesn't make sense? If it's just metaphorical, why do you name him Israel? Because he named that.
No, okay. You're trying to build a straw man and saying that
I'm not building a straw man.
I'm telling you explicitly, Jews do not believe that man is physically wrestled.
Okay, you're saying it's metaphorical, yeah?
To do with Iman.
Okay, so if it's metaphorical and it wasn't really a wrestling match, why was he blessed with something? He said that
Listen, what I'm saying here, I think I just repeat myself.
no, you're repeating, but you're not giving a satisfied answer.
Okay, fine. If you're not satisfied with a Jewish answer, there's something I can do.
I'm asking you. It says that
You want me to say?
Why are you ready for?
I'm saying you want me to say that Jews believe that man wrestled with God.
Now I'm saying your book says that Jacob was the reason why Jacob was named Israel, according to the book, because you wrestled with man and one, and you wrestled with God and one. And now I know they would name Israel. That's the verse, yeah?
It's talking about faith. It's talking about monotheism. It's saying, now you may not like that answer, but I would encourage you to read any of the Mephroshim. I follow the Rambam, who writes consistently doing that, which is talking about wrestling in the faith.
I don't understand. Angels are good guys in the Bible.